Go. Hello and welcome to DAMRT, Driver Advanced Maneuver Recovery Training. My name is Larry Curtis. I'm a retired Staff Sergeant in the United States Army. I held 3 military occupational specialties, and I am a combat veteran. I've deployed to Iraq 3 times. The first job that I held in the United States Army was as a combat engineer, 12 Bravo. We got to do mines, demolitions, and explosives. Cool stuff like that. My second job is pretty simple, or at least most of the time we think so. I was a motor vehicle operator. Civilian terms, I was a truck driver, except my trucks look like this. That's the palletized loading system. 10-wheel drives of awesomeness. Doesn't go real fast, but I can pull anything. My next job, well, for the civilian world, it's a little bit hairy. I was what's called an NBC NCO, a nuclear, biological, and chemical specialist. One of my jobs was to run the gas chamber. Yep, it's me over there with the arrow. Well, not necessarily me, but that's a picture of the stuff I used to do. And yes, that poor private's about ready to puke his guts out because he's in the gas chamber along with all his buddies. They're all sucking wind at this point. Now, for all of my prior service people out there, yeah, we all remember the gas chamber. You also remember Mach 4. For us chemical soldiers, we did some stuff that was actually worse than Mach 4. This is a hazmat suit, a level A. Some of the times I used to go play around in one of these things. It was great. High stress situation all the way around. Trust me, the civilian world did not want to see me in that suit walking down your street. That means the life is bad. My overall job was to teach our soldiers, everyone from privates up to generals, and also some of our civilian counterparts, to fight and win in a contaminated environment. Do things, everything from driving vehicles, from armored to large wheeled vehicles, to shooting their weapons. All the training I have done for the last 20 years, both as the student and an instructor, is all high stress level type stuff. Great transition into what we do today. We run DAMRT. What's DAMRT, you say? DAMRT is an advanced driving course for our teenagers out there on the roads. Now, why would you need that for one of your younger drivers? Specifically, the 16 and 19-year-olds. Well, for a second, let's look at some of the things that happen out there on the road. Is anybody leaving today? Happens all the time, doesn't it? Tree falls in front of you. We live pretty close to the lake. How about we go get a boat and go to the lake? This guy's going, well, maybe not quite. Oh, let's just flip a U in the middle of the road. Don't worry about turning on your blinker, though. A little bit too close for my comfort, but, I mean, what could go wrong? George? All right, got his blinker on, jumps over in the left lane, gonna pass the big truck, and there's probably a Smurf up there throwing ice at him. That's okay. We'll just take this, get it off the highway, we'll go into town. We'll just do a little driving in town. Ready? Yeah, another big truck. What could go wrong? How about a little bit of dirt? Stuff like this happens all the time. In the United States, many of our teens are injured or even killed in automobile accidents. Could be because of wildlife, could be because they're driving too fast, or just overall lack of experience, or just like a lot of these cases, just bad luck. It all happens. Let's for a moment take a minute and look at the prerequisites to become a licensed driver in the state of Michigan. First, you're going to start off with segment 1. You're going to age 14 and 8 months. It is required for you to have 24 months of classroom training. Then you actually get, with an instructor in the car, 6 hours of hands-on driver's training. Then an additional 4 hours with observation in a vehicle while someone else is driving. I don't know about you, but when somebody else is driving and I'm not the one behind the wheel, I'm usually conked out in the passenger seat. After you get those things completed, You have to pass the written test. You got to know the rules and regulations that the state requires. This all combined for just that one segment is going to cost you between $300 and $500 or so dollars. Now, you keep your license, your level 1, and you drive with your parents for a while, a minimum of 3 months. You can then move on to segment 2. This is where, for me, it gets a little bit sketchy. You have to log your driving time with your parent, guardian, so on, of 80 hours. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but to this day, my mom has never held a driver's license. So she isn't necessarily one that I could stick over in the passenger seat and run up to the store. Okay? My dad, he was a little bit high strung. So I don't think he was really the one that I want teaching me how to drive a car in a stressful environment. Now, in addition to the 80 hours, or along with that 80 hours, you also needed to have 12 hours of night driving. Now, most of our high school teenagers on Friday night after the football game, it's nighttime driving. So I think that's a number that should actually be pumped up. But that's just me. In addition to this driving, you'll get another 6 hours of in-classroom instruction. And this cost for this segment is going to be between $60 and $100. Now let's for a moment just go back a couple of years. Quite a few years. How about October of 1989? The young man I knew quite well, he was purchasing his very first vehicle. It was a blue Chevy Monte Carlo. Had a 350 in it, auto trans. He had the Krager mag wheels, and for that time, the Krager mag wheels, that was the thing. He had to work 2 jobs all summer to actually buy this car. Bust his butt to get it. Now, after he purchased the vehicle, he opened up the trunk, he took his bicycle, 10-speed bike that he always rode, he set it in the back of the car, closed her down, tied her up, and he headed off to work because he had to work that night. He was a ticket taker at the JV football game. End of the night, he did what every kid in small town USA does. He cruised town in his new ride. He was pretty proud. Now, a normal kid would have went home and showed his mom and his dad and his parents had been all happy, showed his friends. Nope, not this knucklehead. He started cruising town. He wanted to just ride and ride and ride. While he was riding, he thought to himself, man, I finally got my ride. I don't have to ride the bus to school anymore or ride around on my bicycle. I got my freedom. So the end of the night, everything shut down. The lights in town go to flashing. And he's like, yeah, I better go home. That was only 4 miles to the house. He could take the paved way, or he could take the dirt road that was kind of winding. It was quicker. It was faster. I got plenty of experience to go down this road. So he took down a road. He come around one of the bends, maybe just a little bit too fast, and in the middle of the road, and it was a dirt road, stood a big old hound dog. You know what? That old hound dog kind of looked at him like that. Wasn't going no place. This kid slams on the brake, jerks the wheel to the right, spins her to the left, flings her back to the right again. And the next thing you know, he's slammed up against 2 trees, 2 big trees that completely wrecked the front of his brand new car. A car that he only had for 7 hours. He was crushed. His world had just shattered in front of him. But you know what? He was pretty lucky that those 2 trees stopped him. Because on the other side of those 2 trees was the river. If he would missed those trees and made it into the river, well, I might not be here today to talk about this, because that kid was me. All right? I never did have a chance to get my car home to my parents to show them the nice new beautiful car that I had worked my butt off for. And I let my lack of experience cost me that car. I did get it back on the road. I did. Wasn't the same. Had a different color front end on it, but that's all right because I was still alive. I could at least walk away from my statistic, from my chance. For a minute, let's look at the statistics that's out there. The CDC puts out a lot of numbers. They track fatal car accidents in the United States. We're going to look at 2017. Just the age groups of 16 to 19, our newest drivers, our most inexperienced drivers. 2017, we lost over 2,300 new drivers. 2,300. On an average, that's 6 drivers a day. 6 teenagers lost their lives because of lack of experience. They are the highest percentage of any group that you can put together when it comes to driving. This age group between 16 and 19 compared to the 20-plus-year-olds are 3 times more likely to die in a fatal car crash than older drivers. And another number that's out there, 300,000 have wound up in the hospital, in the ERs. 300,000 a year. Let's look at the cost for a second. These drivers cost an estimated $13 billion in just auto accidents. Now, my guys are out there are always saying that they can outdrive the girls. Guess what, boys? The numbers are against you because you're 2 times more likely to die in an auto accident than what the girls are. So ladies, you can take that one to the bank for them. For a second, I'd like to concentrate on just the new of the new drivers, the 16-year-olds, ones just getting their stuff and can be out there on their own. You're 1.5 more times likely to get in an auto accident than your 18 to 19-year-olds. Okay? Add in nighttime driving and weekend driving, and your numbers go up even more. So this is why DAMRT was created. Because you never know when there's going to be a big hound dog standing in the middle of the road. You never know when that tree's going to fall over in front of you. But what we can do through the training that we have is get you some experience in a closed course setting with some great instructors. Let's cover that for a second. DAMRT is a 1-day class. 1 day. The first 2 hours is going to be some classroom, some admin. We're going to cover some of the stuff that we're going to do out on the course. Then we're going to go out on that course and put that knowledge to test. Okay? We're going to start off with some simple stuff. Starting just kind of driving through the wet stuff. Learning how to stop. Then we'll start adding the maneuvers to it. In that 6 hours, it's all hands-on training. You're the one behind the wheel, turning the wheel, working the pedals. You're going to gain experience through real-world situations. You're not going to be on a simulator. Simulator, go play the games later. That's fine. Now, do I got any Sheldon Coopers in the house? Sheldon Cooper was a theoretical physicist. But Sheldon Cooper never drove a car. His buddy did, but Sheldon didn't. Driving a car is all about physics. Starting, stopping, turning. That's all numbers, all physics. Now, what are you going to get taught? You're going to get taught on 4 different skid pads. These are slick down tracks, closed courses, and we have 1 car at a time come in, try to do a maneuver. Once you pass that, you move on to the next stage. So on and so forth. Each one is just a little bit more difficult. You're going to find out the limitations of your vehicles. You're going to find out your limitations. We're also going to teach you defensive visual scanning. Because you know what? The other guy is not looking out for you. You have to look out for yourself. We're going to teach you emergency braking. When that tree falls in front of you, you got to be able to get her stopped. We're going to talk you quick maneuver turning. Sometimes it's just easier to go left or right if it's safe enough to do so. We're also going to teach you skid recovery. When the rear end kicks out on you, how do you get it going straight again in a safe direction? And the last thing we're going to cover is reaction to different situations. What if all of a sudden you hit a downpour? What do? Turn on your lights, turn on your windshield wipers, slow my speed down some. Things like that. At DAMRT, why are we one of the best in the training business? Well, this is why. We build better drivers. We use practical experience to do that. Our professional instructors have a combined training total of 100 years. Our classroom knowledge is then reinforced with real-world, hands-on steering wheel, button seat training on our closed course driving ranges. This is not your basic driver's course. Somebody else is going to teach you that. This is after you've advanced past that and you want to become a better, more prepared driver. This is advanced maneuver recovery training, just like the name says. So I want to wrap things up here. This is what I want you to take away. 1, my name's Larry Curtis. I'm one of the chief operating officers here at the company. I'm also one of the instructors. How did we get started? Almost 30 years ago, a blue Monte Carlo and a hound dog on a dirt road ended up creating DAMRT. We've covered a couple of the rules to get your license here in Michigan. We've also went over a few of the statistics. And if you're in the age group of 16 to 19, the statistics are against you. We went over what we taught, how we teach, and where we teach, and why you should train with DAMRT. So I'm going to let you all go for now, but I want you to remember, I want you to be safe out there, I want you to be careful, and I want you to drive DAMRT. Have a great night, everybody. Take care.